Most men ignore the earliest signs of prostate cancer because they think it's just aging. A slower urine stream, weaker erections, or changes in your penis get brushed off as something you just have to live with. Some even blame years of masturbation, convinced they've somehow damaged themselves. But here's the truth: by the time you finally notice, it's often too late. Would you recognize the difference between normal aging and the very first red flag of cancer silently spreading in your body? Or would you dismiss it until it takes more than your erections, more than your confidence, more than your manhood? 1 in 8 men will face prostate cancer in their lifetime, but most never see the warning signs until it's advanced. Today, you'll learn the 5 signs men over 60 miss, and what happens if you act early before the damage is permanent. If any of this feels uncomfortably familiar, if you've ever worried about your prostate, your erections, or how changes in your penis might mean something more, leave a comment below. Share your experience, because chances are another man here is living the same story in silence. This channel exists to break that silence, to give you the truth your doctor might rush past and the hope you thought was gone. So, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss another life-changing health insight made for men like you. John was 67 when he finally admitted something was wrong. A proud Marine, a father who never missed a day of work, he thought discipline could carry him through anything. But discipline couldn't stop him from waking up 4-5 times a night to urinate. It couldn't explain why his penis felt weaker, why his erections weren't just soft, but disappearing altogether. And in his darkest moments, he blamed himself. Too many years of masturbation, he thought. Maybe this was his punishment. That shame kept him silent. For months he told no one, not even his wife. He tried cranberry juice, cut back on coffee, even stopped drinking water at night, but nothing helped. His body felt like it was betraying him, and he carried that secret like a weight. When John finally came into my clinic, I listened. I'm Dr. Catherine Rotker, a men's health specialist who has spent decades treating men just like him. What John thought was just age was something far more dangerous. His prostate had started to swell, not just the benign kind of enlargement we see so often, but the early signs of prostate cancer pressing against his urethra. Here's the truth men never hear. A weak stream, frequent urination, and even erection problems aren't always about age. They can be your first warning. In fact, NIH research shows nearly 50% of men confuse early prostate cancer symptoms with simple aging, and that delay can be deadly. By the time pain or blood appear, the disease is often advanced. I told John what no one had ever explained to him, that the prostate sits like a ring around the urethra. When cancer cells grow, even slowly, they press down like a vice. That pressure blocks urine, lowers blood flow to the penis, and slowly robs you of intimacy, confidence, and health. John's silence almost cost him everything, but catching it early saved his life. He went through treatment, regained his strength, and today he still calls me once a year, not to ask about erections, but to thank me for giving him more time with his grandchildren. The myth is that you're broken because of age or old habits. The truth is, your body whispers warnings long before it screams. If you listen, if you act, you can stop prostate cancer before it takes what makes you a man. Prostate cancer is not a loud disease. It doesn't crash into your life with sudden pain or dramatic symptoms. It moves in silence, like a thief in the night, slowly stealing pieces of your manhood while convincing you it's nothing more than age. You notice yourself getting up more at night, your penis not responding the way it used to, your erections feeling weaker or fading altogether. You tell yourself it's normal. That's exactly how this enemy wins. The prostate sits deep inside your body, wrapping around the urethra. As cancer cells begin to grow, they press on that narrow channel, making urination slower, weaker, more urgent. At the same time, blood flow to the penis starts to suffer. Erections rely on circulation, on clean arteries delivering oxygen-rich blood. When the prostate becomes inflamed or cancerous, that balance is disrupted and intimacy suffers. What makes this enemy so dangerous is its silence. According to the American Cancer Society, 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, yet most don't discover it until the later stages. Why? Because early symptoms mimic normal aging. The very changes you dismiss, like weaker erections, frequent urination, or lower libido, can be your first alarm bells. Science makes it even clearer. Research shows that elevated cortisol, the stress hormone, doesn't just harm your mind, it fuels inflammation that makes the prostate more vulnerable. High cortisol suppresses testosterone, leaving you tired, moody, less like yourself. Add in poor circulation from years of sitting or not moving enough, and you've created the perfect breeding ground for cancer to grow unnoticed. Men rarely talk about these struggles. They hide it thinking it's weakness. But silence is exactly what prostate cancer depends on. By the time blood appears in urine or semen, or by the time pelvic pain begins, the disease is often advanced. At that stage, survival drops sharply. Yet if caught early, the survival rate is over 98%. That's the power of listening to your body before it screams. The real danger isn't just the disease, it's the belief that you can ignore it. That false comfort is the silent enemy, convincing you to wait to hope it passes. But cancer doesn't pass, it grows. The question is whether you'll recognize its whispers before it takes more than your health. You don't need complicated drugs or endless prescriptions to start protecting yourself. What you need is awareness and a few simple habits that science has already proven can protect your prostate, preserve your erections, and even lower your risk of cancer. The first step is learning the 5 signs no man over 60 can afford to ignore. Frequent night urination, waking up 2, 3, even 5 times, isn't just age, it's pressure on your bladder. A weaker erection or changes in the firmness of your penis isn't only about testosterone decline. It can be circulation or prostate growth reducing blood flow. Blood in your urine or semen, even once, is a serious red flag. Pelvic or lower back pain that lingers can mean cancer has spread beyond the gland. And when your libido drops suddenly, when intimacy feels distant, that hormonal imbalance often starts in the prostate. But here's the hopeful truth. Your body wants to fight for you if you give it what it needs. Harvard researchers found that men who consume just 2 Brazil nuts a day raised their selenium levels enough to strengthen DNA repair, a powerful defense against prostate cancer. Green tea, rich in catechins, has been shown in PubMed studies to lower prostate cancer risk by nearly 30%. Even something as natural as ejaculation, yes, masturbation or regular sex, can protect you. NIH data shows men who ejaculate at least 21 times per month have a significantly reduced risk of prostate cancer compared to those who don't. It isn't about doing everything perfectly, it's about stacking small protective steps that tilt the odds in your favor. Eat more foods rich in antioxidants, spinach, broccoli, berries, because oxidative stress fuels cancer growth. Move your body daily, even a brisk 20-minute walk, to keep blood flowing to your pelvis and penis. Hydrate. Water helps flush the urinary tract and reduces irritation that makes symptoms worse. These steps don't just protect against prostate cancer. They restore what you thought was gone. Better circulation means stronger erections. Balanced hormones mean steadier energy, deeper sleep, and more confidence. Every small decision, what you eat, how you move, whether you listen to your body, either fuels the silent enemy or strengthens your defenses. The truth is, your prostate is not your enemy. It's an alarm system, and when you listen, it can save your life. These simple solutions aren't glamorous. They're not expensive, but they work. They keep you in the fight, not just against cancer, but against the belief that aging means surrender. Protecting your prostate is protecting your future, and you can start today, right now, with nothing more than the choices you put in your mouth, the way you move your body, and the courage to not ignore the signs. When you take these steps, your body begins to respond faster than you think. Within the first week, you may notice you're sleeping better. Those constant trips to the bathroom in the middle of the night start to calm down. Your bladder begins to relax as the pressure eases, and you wake up feeling more rested, more in control. By the second week, energy starts to come back. The fog you thought was just age begins to lift. Morning erections may feel stronger, more consistent. Blood flow improves, and with it, your confidence. Even your mood shifts, because balanced hormones don't just affect the body, they steady the mind. By the end of 30 days, something powerful happens. You feel like yourself again. Urination is easier, your penis responds with strength, and intimacy no longer feels like a memory. Your wife, your partner, even you notice the difference, because it's visible, tangible, real. This isn't guesswork. Studies show dietary and lifestyle changes can improve prostate health markers in as little as 4 weeks. Circulation improves, inflammation drops, testosterone rises. Your body wants to heal, and when you give it the right support, it fights back. Day by day, the timeline becomes a return, not to the past, but to the man you were always meant to be. The most dangerous mistake men make is waiting. You notice weaker erections, more bathroom trips, or pain in your lower back, and you tell yourself it's nothing. You blame age, or worse, you bury the shame and hope it passes. That silence is what prostate cancer depends on. Another mistake is masking symptoms with quick fixes. Pills might give you a temporary erection, but they don't touch the root problem. They trick you into thinking everything's fine, while the real disease keeps spreading. NIH data shows that men who delay prostate screening often face advanced disease, where survival rates plummet from above 98% to below 30%. That's the price of waiting. And inconsistency is just as dangerous. You start drinking more water, moving your body, eating better. But you quit after a week. Cancer doesn't quit, poor circulation doesn't quit, stress hormones don't quit. Your life, your penis, your erections, your future, these are too valuable to gamble with silence, shortcuts, or half measures. The mistake to avoid is believing you can't change your path, because you can. You've been told that losing your strength, your erections, your energy is just part of getting older. That after 60, you should expect to fade quietly into the background. But that story is a lie. You are not broken. You are rebuildable. Your prostate doesn't have to be a death sentence. It can be your warning system, your body's way of saying, pay attention, fight back. Every night you wake up to urinate, every time your penis doesn't respond the way it used to, every moment you feel less like yourself. These are not punishments, they are alarms. And when you answer them early, you don't just save your prostate, you save your manhood, your confidence, and your life. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s reclaim intimacy, rebuild strength, and walk back into life with fire in their eyes. And it all began when they stopped hiding, stopped blaming themselves, and started acting. So here's my call to you. Like this video if it spoke to you. Share it with another man who might be suffering in silence, because your courage to share might save his life. Leave a comment below with your story, your questions, your fight. This is a brotherhood and you are not alone. And don't forget, subscribe and hit the bell. Every week we bring you life-changing men's health insights the world doesn't talk about. Your next chapter isn't about decline, it's about rising. And it begins the moment you choose to act.